Hi everyone, hope you're doing good. It's Lavender Bellison. I'm so happy because I'm sharing with you this new video, and we're going to talk about, well, it's a storytime video. It means we have a beautiful we can conclude, some meaningful lessons, life lessons that we need in our lives as human beings. And also we have an experience. I'm sharing with you an experience that I went through, and this is important because we can, as I said, conclude messages, lessons, and it means the world for me to share with you some experiences I had, and I feel doing this would help so many people who are going through the same experiences and situations. Well, I have so many things to say, so I try to divide this video into some questions, some parts, so I can answer specific questions and go directly and straight to the points that I wanted to share with you, because again and again and again, all I want to do is to benefit people, and that's my purpose here on social media. So I lost people, not because I did something wrong, but because I said nothing. That's the thing. And I thought this is maturity, but it wasn't the case. I used to think this way, and it cost me relationships. So today I'd love to share with you my story with the lack of communication, which is, I really consider communication as a key aspect that we need in our lives, and it's so important to communicate with people around us so we can understand and avoid misunderstandings. So simply I stayed silent because I was, okay, that's not me anymore. So I was someone who considered the drama a bit a red flag, I'd say. I used to hate the drama. I consider, I hate the drama, and I hate exaggeration, and I don't like to exaggerate and while reacting, etc. And I'm not that person. But at least I have a vision to respect everyone and to respect people who are dramatic, because sometimes people who we think are dramatic aren't dramatic. They're just expressing their feelings. So now I'm aware of this, and I have this vision, and I love it, and I'm adopting it, But in the past, I used to think like everything is a drama, and I was to be so careful to do not be dramatic. And I talked about this in my previous video about online hate and the spreading of hate over love, etc., and people trying to hate on us. I spoke about the adjective cringe, like everything now is considered cringe, and expressing our feelings is considered cringe. I talked about this, and I think it's the same thing. I used to think this way. So I used to think like if I express my feelings as they are, people would take it as a drama. I used to think this way. So I stayed silent to avoid the drama, and that was wrong, because there is no drama. It was just me and my feelings, me, myself, and my feelings. I used to think that silence is peace. Well, I still have this idea right now. I don't know if it's true. I might change it in the future, but I still think silence is peace, but not in every case. But in the past, I used to consider silence is peace, like in every case, but that's not the case, right? But now I have a clear belief that says I don't have to be silent in every case, and it depends on the situation. We can decide if we stay silent or no. But yeah, sometimes silence is peace, but it's not the case every time. So that's what I'm considering now, and I didn't used to consider it in the past. I used to be afraid of people and the way they reacted. So I used to say like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to question, I don't want to have a little discussion or a big one because I'm afraid of people's reactions or someone's reactions. So I used to avoid because I used to fear people's reactions, people around me, and that's why I stayed silent and I avoided communication. I used to say, I don't know if you know, but I used to say that my only way of communication was writing, okay? That's the only way I used to know how to communicate or use it to communicate, which is or to express myself. Express myself, not communicate, to express myself, which is poetry and writing in general. So I used to find it so hard to express myself, especially while speaking, and that's why I avoided speaking and having communication with people, and I stayed silent and this was important. Then I worked on my self-expression more and more and more and more. I till now I cannot really express everything orally, but I find it healthy because now I know how to balance, I know how to manage. Yes, there are some things I think they must be expressed orally, and there are some things it's okay if we don't express them orally and keep and use another way to express them, for example feelings, emotions, etc. When it's not necessary to express them orally, it's okay to express them using another way, in my case writing, music and poetry, but some cases it's so important to communicate orally, and that's what I was aware about in the past. People can't understand if we don't say, if we don't orient them and help them to understand. Now, if you speak up, if you talk, if you have a communication, if you have a conversation and they still don't understand you, here is another thing, right? Here's another thing. But if you don't speak, if you don't tell, they can't understand. You have to tell so they understand. Don't wait for people to understand you, and you're not being clear, you're not talking, you're not having conversations with them. And I used to think this way, and I'm advising everyone to do not think this way, because you have to say, you have to speak, you have to ask, you have to open a conversation, then expect them to understand you. The question now is what I was feeling inside. It's very important because I know you all, people who don't really communicate always think hurt, but they have to, hurt but quiet, and at the same time, they want to feel, no, they want to pretend they are okay. And I used to do this. I used to always pretend I'm okay, everything is okay, I don't care. That's how I felt inside, but it was just, it was of course fake. I pretended that I'm okay, but it was not the case. And it's okay to not feel not okay because I'm a human being. What are you expecting, So that was wrong thinking. How do I say it? But the whole thing was wrong. The base was wrong, the base was wrong. Of course I have to sometimes feel not okay because I'm a human being, that's logical. And why should I be always okay? I'm bothered and I don't care. No, I'm not careless. I have to care because I have feelings and emotions. I'm not an object. So many times I wanted to tell and say, but I always stop myself, relying on what I said before, the reasons why I stayed silent, the reasons stopped me, and I stopped myself because sometimes you feel, oh my god, anxious, and you want to speak up, you want to say everything, but something would stop you, and this happened to me, and it was a harsh feeling. I used to overthink everything, and imagine like you overthink and you don't tell, and you don't share, and you don't talk, and you're still overthinking and thinking again and again and again. It's still going on, So you have so many questions, but there are no answers because you're not asking the questions, you're just keeping them inside. So that was the feeling inside me. That was the feeling. The feeling was, I'd say, chaotic, I had some little conversations with some people I know, friends and stuff, and they always say, we always see you as someone who doesn't care, it doesn't mean for you, it's okay to do this and this because you don't really care, they always see me, they used to see me as someone who is careless, and that's wrong. And they always think everything is fine, everything was fine, etc. because there's no reaction, simply you're acting cold. So they didn't know they hurt me, and they never know because I'm not communicating. I'm not saying, hello, you hurt me. I'm not saying this, I'm not communicating, so how they know? So simply they'd always see you as someone who is careless, and they wouldn't know that they hurt you, and they have to correct, or they have to at least talk about it, bring it to the table so you can find a solution. But I was the one who stops this every time and do not even allow it to happen. What happened in the end? Of course, distance grows slowly, and it's logical, it's logical because we are not talking, and some small problems became big and so complicated, we didn't know how to start. You know, we didn't know how to start because it was messy. It was messy and not clear. You know, something not clear, you don't even want to go through it. And here we conclude a beautiful conclusion: no communication, no understanding. If we don't have a communication, don't expect understanding. So we have something called misunderstanding, and this will grow a distance, and the result will be losing each other. And that's what happened with so many people I used to know, because we didn't really talk about our problems, because we didn't communicate, and the fault was mine. I don't know if it was theirs, to be honest. I don't know if they are into communication or no, but for me, I was not into communication, so it was also my fault, you know? So eventually we lost each other. And I learned something, that silence was not always the key. It was not peace, as I used to think. You know, I used to think that silence was peace, and if we don't react, and if we don't really talk, it'd be, oh, peace and love, you know? And I'm into peace and love, you know me. I also learned that communication is important, and it's not optional. You know, it's not an option, it's a must. Believe me, it's a must. You have to communicate, you have to talk, you have to have a clear conversation about anything you are feeling. Every feeling, this is my I love this statement, but I mean, every feeling is a valid feeling. I'm saying it for so many times, but yeah, we have to understand this. I mean, feelings are valid. We have to appreciate all of them and communicate all of them. All of them must be taken into account, and we have to talk about them. We have to understand every feeling. We have to understand people are not mind readers. People wouldn't read your minds. So please understand this fact. I mean, you are not mind readers. We have to understand each other. And how can we understand each other? Give me the answer. I'm looking for the answer. Dora vibes. So literally the answer is communication. If we communicate, we know about each other, because we are not mind readers. Quote of the day: if you don't speak, you can't be understood. Please, if you care about someone, talk. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't do this. I'm talking based on an experience. So please don't wait. Just go and say what you want to say, because if time will go, it's gonna be so hard. It's not impossible. Okay, it's not impossible, but it's hard. It's so difficult. And remember, your silence can lose people who actually care about you, people who actually love you. It was just a misunderstanding, and you all know why that misunderstanding situation happened. It's because of the lack of communication. So please, if you care about someone, if you feel about someone a beautiful feeling, and you like their existence around you, go and talk to them and ask them. Have a clear, honest conversation. Don't stay like in your comfort zone and say, oh no, I'm comfortable this way and I don't want to talk about. No, talk about it. It's important to talk about it. Please do it. I mean what I'm saying, you know? I mean what I'm saying, and I'm sharing my experience and my feelings, my ideas from the bottom of my heart, because I truly want everyone to build healthy relationships, because I truly know what does it mean to stay silent all times and feel misunderstood, and you misunderstand, feel misunderstood. It's so chaotic, and I don't want anyone to live this feeling. Thank you so much for watching my video. It means the world. I'd love to see you subscribing to my channel, and welcome to my community. I'd love to thank you. First of all, I'd love to thank everyone who's supporting my art, my poetry, my posts on social media, and thank you so much. It means the world. Thank you. I'm doing my best. I'm trying my best to create and to do things I love. If you want, please go and follow me on my social media accounts. You find the links in the description, and thank you so much for watching my video. God bless you all. So much love. Believe in yourself and be yourselves. So much love.